Welcome everyone to another episode of LanceScurv. I'm sitting here with Mrs. Scurv and we're having a kind of non-directional conversation, and we will be doing these as the time goes by. You know, today's question is not really a question. It's a statement, and it's also a concept. You know, today in the modern world, we see so many people, let's zero this in, black women, our sisters, who we do love. And we do understand. But deep at the core, in this modern day, things have changed. There's been a shift in the black community, whether you want to call it black, copper colored, melanated. Those of us who have lots of melanin, kinky hair coming out the box, our lips a little wider, and maybe not. We're full range, full color. We know who we are. And things are different now between the sexes. It seems to be where online, we know it's engineered, first of all. This is an engineered phenomenon, and the whole YouTube and social media space was given to us and was very seductive. We didn't have to make phone calls anymore over the traditional phone and worry about long distance charges. We can send instant notes. Who wouldn't? We save money and we save time. Things are instant. But along the way, that gift was a Trojan horse, and it began to morph into something else as we had free reign to communicate and say what we want. And as we well know on YouTube, especially right now, when you talk about certain things, you're censored. And I said this many years ago, that we're entering the age of censorship. But I find it amazing that when we speak against each other, black men against black women against black men, and we really believe this, that we're going somewhere else without our black women, no matter where we marry them. And that would be a good discussion too, passport brothers, but that's not the focus right now. I'm speaking to Mrs. Scurv. You know, she's my wife, but she doesn't have to be. But the person that she is has the attributes that I want to speak on right now. Now, let me give you a little background on Mrs. Scurv to a point, in a general way, not specific. She's the kind of person that will do for herself in comparison to the modern day women. The thing is that she's not going to say that she doesn't need a man. And I know through personal experience that she can be subservient to me as her husband and cook and do some things around the house, which doesn't have sex attached to it as far as that's the woman's job. No, she gets on me, and my work desk is sometimes jumbled up from all the work that I do. And she's like, I'm not touching it. You got to do it. But push come to shove, she will be subservient to me as I am subservient to her. It's an equal pairing. Even if we have differences in our ideologies, she was born and raised in the country. This is very important that I say this, the country in Jamaica, as her accent indicates, but she's from the country. She doesn't mind getting down and dirty, planting, lifting things. Lots of times I ask her, I say, listen, why did you call me to lift that? She said, hey, you were sleeping and I'm going to do it on my own. So she does have that attitude, but it's not toxic. So she's a combination of both. Long-term employment, no problem. Raising kids, holding it down, no problem. That's how I met her. But she would still whip up the nicest plates for me, wash clothes, do certain things. And if I'm needed in the non-traditional role, I will do it. So the feminist movement came along in the 70s. And I'm just saying this just for clarity's sake. And we had white women who were complaining of needing equal rights, equal pay with their husband, or the white men who ruled the corporations, pretty much. Maybe you can explain it a little bit better than me, those who are out there, but we pretty much know where we are. That was not the black woman's fight. But somehow, some way, they got some black women to run with it when possibly black women at that time, they were losing ground on marriage. The black family, black couples were more married back in the 50s and 60s. And it was a slide after this particular mentality came to be, where they started to see themselves in the same positioning as the white woman across the board. But that particular white woman had her home. She had her money. And we began to lose our wealth and was sliding. We always were a little bit behind because of racism and how the system was set up. But we began to slide even more. And we have many women now who have followed behind that ideology. And as they get older, they're lonely, they're frustrated, that I don't need a man mentality does not work. Recently, Diane Carroll, the actress, came forward on video and said, listen, You don't know how hard it's going to be when you get around 60, in your 60s, and you can't find anybody. You didn't have anybody to build with. You don't have anybody to say, hey, remember way back when, because your career became something more than family life. If you don't want it, you don't want pregnancy, you don't want marriage, fine. But don't demonize those who do and direct those who are younger to say that that's the wrong way. So after saying all that, Mrs. SCURV, that was a kind of me wanting to place it where I want to place it. How do you feel this modern day woman, how do you feel? Do you think it's right? You know, it's their choice, but do you think this is the right trajectory for us or for you as a sister and for all of the sisters coming up? Or is this a divide and conquer, a methodology to destroy the black family? And what do you think it should be as far as the roles in the home, expectations? What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? Because you are the epitome of a modern day woman, but not that toxic thing. Because when I met you, you were doing it on your own. What do you think about all of that?
First, I want to say greetings to my brothers and sisters out there. Hope you all are doing well today. We just sitting here having a conversation. And for me, I can speak on me because the way I grew up is, you know, you see your parents, this is how they do it. Your parents take care, your dad go out and work and your mom take care of home and everything, you know, but it's a different time now that we are in. You know, growing up in the country in Jamaica is a whole different thing. You know, most moms stay home and the dad goes to work, whether they work at the farm or whatever they do. So it's a different thing. You know, being in the state, you know, mom go to work, dad go to work, and it's, you know, it's always for me, I have a husband and children. I'm going to make sure, you know, everyone is taken care of. I'm going to do what I need to do at home. I'm going to make sure, you know, the clothes is clean, the clothes are ironed, because I don't like to see crushed up clothes. I'm going to make sure the food is ready and whatever,
well I know.
You know, the supermarket and all that stuff. But, and sometimes, you know, you have a lot of, and on the other hand, you have a lot of dads sometimes don't want to pick up their responsibility. Some of them want to push it all off and the wife or the girlfriend, whoever, you know, which is not right, because sometimes you ask, you know, your husband, can you do this, do that? They'll try to put it off. You know, when I get time or when I feel like doing it and all the other crap and stuff like that. But we're here.
Wait, hold on a minute.
We're both working.
Are you talking about me? You throwing off on me?
We're both working, so we need to work together. You know, in a place like the States, or if you, whatever foreign country like the States, Canada, the UK or whatever, you're there and both of you working and children going to school and all this stuff. We need to work together and do this thing, because that's how we build our family. You understand? But what I quickly get to see what's happening, but still I never try to let go of that. You know, I always try to do that and make sure everything is right. The only thing was so hard is not having the family at the table to have dinner, because sometimes dad working a different shift, mom working, you know, so the shifts were different. So then maybe you and the children have to just have dinner together, and then maybe dad come home later on, you be gone to bed, or mom come home later and you gone to bed, and it's vice versa. So it's different, but I think we all should work together as a people. I'm talking about us as melanated people, black people, whatever you want to call yourself. We as a people, we should work together. And a lot of family fall apart because a lot of us will say, well, we can do it on our own and all this stuff. But it's hard when you're raising a family. And I know some people don't want a family, but it's hard when you're raising children and have a husband, or don't have a husband, or the husband go, or whatever, you split, whatever. It's very hard raising those children by yourself. That's not an easy task, even though you're saying that,
let's clarify that when we met, you had children.
Yes.
And you were single. You know, because there are people who don't know the platform.
Yes, yes.
That would think
yes.
that maybe I left or didn't do or whatever.
No.
Right. No, just a clarification. Okay. So you were...
Well, I was married before.
Right.
I can say that I was married before I have children.
Right.
You know, when Lance and I met, I already divorced for 6 years. So, you know, you're by yourself for a while, and I was separated for a while. And then, you know, when we met, you know, it was 6 years since I have divorced and stuff like that. But, you know, when you have children and you're doing it by yourself and, you know, things happen in your life, it's sometimes it's hard, but it's good when you have somebody in your life to stand there with you to help you get through this. Because it's not easy. It's not easy being a single parent, you know, dealing with children. And even sometimes when you're single, it's not easy either, because everybody needs someone. You know, if it's even someone where you can have a conversation with, something. But a lot of us, you know, we feel like we can do it on our own. And yes, a lot of times we can do it. We can do it, each one of us, whether it's the female or the male. We can all do it on our own. But, you know, sometimes it's not easy, like doing it on your own, because, you know, sometimes when you get older, then you realize that you need someone in your life to, you know, someone in your life to talk to. You're just there in your home by yourself. A lot of people die lonely and all this stuff because they don't have someone to talk to. And a lot of times, excuse me, a lot of times, a lot of people would live longer if they have somebody in their life, because, you know, having a conversation with someone, you know, just talking, laughing sometimes, because laugh is very important. So we need these things. And sometimes, you know, we may say we don't need someone, but it's not like you don't have to marry to someone.
Just anybody.
Be with someone. Yeah.
Right. Just anybody. But
yeah.
I wanted to inject that you never complained. You didn't carry the toxic energy when I met you. You weren't complaining or, I don't need a man, because you're more than what you can. You're equipped to do it on your own. And this is what I want to stress in this particular episode. Mm-hmm. You were doing it on your own excellently. You put out the effort. I won't say the amount of years, but even on your job, you were rising up. You had a good position, and you were there for longer than most of these so-called modern day women were even alive. And you didn't complain. You say
I worked that job for 34 years.
Exactly.
So you know, I was
in America
for a while.
But so. your resume is like one job, right? So but you weren't complaining. You did it on your own, and you still had the ability to show me love. We didn't meet with you complaining. You bared a lot. And that's the point I want to make with a lot of these women who just lash out because of pain or trauma that they went through with another man or men because of their poor choices. You see, a lot of times when you find a woman like that, she was let down by a father figure, a father, or maybe multiple men, just because they made the bad choices. And usually when they're that way, I can't say one size fits all, but from what I see, and this is very loose now, there'll be somebody in the comment section, well, my situation wasn't like that. We understand that there's exceptions to the rule. It's different, but generally you caught scars early on in your life. You might have expected to be with somebody, you have a child, and then they run out on you, or you get with somebody else, and maybe you say, okay, I'm going to start all over again, and then it happens again, and then time goes on, and you find yourself, you're 30 years old, and like, wow. And then a lot of these men out here, they are not going to deal with you if you have children. Now, we're touching on some touchy stuff. I'm not going to go too much into that. But then we all have needs, like you just said. We all have the need to want to laugh and come home to somebody and feel loved and feel like we belong, regardless as to what you have done in the past. You were married. This was a real thing. Understood. There were reasons why you're not together. Right. So you weren't made to be toxic because of that. And we know that.
Because
talk to me.
The thing about it, when you're married to someone or you were in a relationship and you have children and all this stuff, you want to, for me, I want to make a clean break. I don't want all the madness, all the craziness and all that stuff. No hate, no nothing like that. And what you have to understand, when you have children, you have to make sure about what you're doing and how you do things, because when you have those nasty breakup and all this stuff, don't bring the children into it. Don't carry it over, because when you bring children into it, it's a big problem, big problem, because then now you spreading the hate, with the children, then the children get like that and they hating dad, or dad putting them against mom and all that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. With that, you have to make sure you and mom and dad is on the same accord. That means the children are raised different. They're not, let go. They're not doing all these things that the dad is in their life and the mom is in their life, and things are the same. If mom say don't go, don't do this, dad is saying the same thing. So we can't be fighting against each other, even though we break up and we're not together anymore. You can't be doing that, because a lot of times that's what happened. Like, if I'm divorced from someone else and then we have children, I'm talking bad about this man, and are he talking bad about me, and then the children are hearing it, and I'm just bashing him every day. And you have good men and you have good women, and you have bad men and you have bad women. But even though it may happen, like so, with some people are so toxic and all the craziness and all that stuff, it's best not to carry it over and walk around with it, and walk around with the hate that we're going around with, because everybody is not the same. And not because sometimes you break up with someone because it didn't work out, that every man, every one of our melanated brother or black brother, whatever you want to call yourself, is bad. There's so many good brothers are out there, and there's so many good sisters are out there. But sometimes we tend to do this just because relationship didn't work out. Then we start bashing everyone and think that but it doesn't work like that. Yeah. And everyone have a different experience. But when you're into a relationship, and I feel like if things is not working, you can't get along, it's best to separate from it. Do something so it doesn't cause a big problem.
The bottom line is, don't demonize a whole group of people, because you didn't deal with the whole bit of people.
Can't do that.
And see, I get a lot of comments, and I get a lot of snide remarks and slick remarks in the email, and it's okay, because it helps me to learn about what mentalities are out there. And there's different trends of thought. We have men who have the MGTOW movement, MGTOW meaning men going their own way. We have women who profess that white men are better than black men, just absolutely like that. Like, they don't beat people, like they don't cheat on people, bring home diseases, get on drugs, get lazy, and don't want to work. They will do anything to try to show you, because of their hurt, I'm not going to deal with black men. But then I've noticed it in public, and this is a different subject. I want to throw that out there, tied in with this for the next 90 seconds. We'll go to a restaurant, which is very rare, because you are a walking, talking restaurant with your cooking skills. But when we do, if we travel and we go somewhere and say, okay, this is a reputable place, let's grab a bite there. And I've seen it, and I never said anything about it. I will see an interracial couple with a black woman and a white man, and they see me treat you good. They see me keeping my eyes to myself when some tight jeans walk by. They see me keeping my eyes to myself when somebody's walking by with cleavage out, that I'm not looking at them or whatever, right? And they see me focused on you. They see me hold a chair for you. They see in my demeanor in this restaurant now. They can observe this, because lots of our women, our sisters, who run with the white man, and some are going to say, well, that's not the exception, right? They'll say, or they'll see it, and it's like a look in their eye where it's like, damn, he appears to be a wonderful black man. And that breaks what they always wanted to say about black men, right? And it looks like there's a yearning to come back home, meaning that not me per se, but if I'm a good one, pretty much, there's some scratches and dents, aside from my PTSD that'll pop up every now and then. But there must be some other ones. And some don't want to see that. They get angry because it's easy to dismiss all of your brothers across the world that are hardworking and gainfully employed or striving to do something, that you just want to throw us all away. Just like the brothers that want to say there's no good black women. You know, in America, black women have been bruised and scratched and dented and different things. Some is like a certain faction of our men that do crime. They were brought up a certain way. Some, you got to throw away the key because it's just too, you pick out of the rotten apples, the good apples, you pick out of that what you need, but you have to think. You have to make choices because you can't take chances when you make choices because you'll go through some changes. Don't take chances when you make choices or you'll go through changes, and the changes may result in a child who is innocent, but now you've got to deal with that for the next 18 years, and we know it's not just 18 years. So be careful and don't lump us all or lump the sisters or the brothers all in one thing. We have an outside enemy that's trying to break the family apart. If you came up in a situation where that's not your norm, we need to still strive for that. Because we can't build a community of us. Yes, we're not monolithic, thinking the same way. But if we break down the family, we can't have community. If you have stones, bricks, or cinder blocks to build a structure, and you crush up each cinder block or stone into powder, how are you going to take those broken pieces and build a home? You know, I have to applaud the sisters who have done it on their own, with no resentment and not demonizing the poor choices or demonizing all black men because of the choices that they made that they realized was a poor choice. Lots of times what you were thinking about, not you or in general, when you get with somebody when you're 17, it's a different thought than when you get with somebody when you're 40. Because you're saying, oh,
that's a whole different.
He has nice hair and he has a nice six pack and, you know, and sexuality is very powerful. That will smear your thinking. But as you get older, you start to rate the people that you held so high when you were a teenager. You say, I would never deal with that person because, number one, they weren't even thinking about building it. And we can't put that on them. So we got to make more choices, but we're going to have to pay certain consequences for our choices. Hence, I feel the bitterness when this time flies, because once you get out of your 30s, and you should, in this day and age with things moving fast, we need more guidance so that as you get into your 20s and hopefully you don't make any mistakes in your teens, you're going to have to pay for it longer. So let's make good choices and not take chances so we don't end up with bad changes.
Every one of us have a choice, and we're not going to tell anyone what they need to do or what they don't need to do. That is your choice. But for me, I look on things different because I'm a black sister. I'm a melanated sister, so I'm gonna.
Hope you are a sister.
I'm gonna stick with my melanated brothers, you know, and that's how it's gonna be. Whoever want to step out of the race and do whatever, that's their choice. They do what they want to do, but that's not how it was meant to be. And a lot of times our people just turn things upside down, and they don't want to look at things the way they're supposed to look at it. And everybody wants to do whatever they want to do, but it's the consequences for everything, you know. So that's what we need. We need to pay more attention to what is happening to us, you know. And it's so sad, you know. And a lot of our women, they will say all this about the brothers and stuff. Some of the brothers, they don't have no choice. Look how much of our brothers are incarcerated. Yeah. Yeah, incarcerated. Look how many, and a lot of them, not to say some of them they make wrong choices, but a lot of them is locked up right now, innocent. I
know that. You know the kind of work I used to do. Yeah, I know that.
But so many of our brothers are innocent. You know, the cops will drag them around and do all kind of stuff to them, beat them up. I was looking on
this
one.
Happened to me.
I was looking on one the other day that the cops, he's a homeless veteran, and you should see how this guy is all bust up his face and all, and then they're going to talk about assault, and then they drop the assault charge now that he have a lawyer and all this stuff. You beat up this man. He didn't do anything.
But what if he didn't have a lawyer?
You drag him out of the car, and these guys go through so many things. And when you see our brothers out there that is homeless, and moreover, this guy and work and hard serving his country, and nothing out of it, because so many veterans or black men, they go away, and our black sisters and brothers go away and come back and messed up, real messed up. You understand what I'm saying? They've been through so much. And not to say the other people, they don't go through it, but I'm telling you, it's a big mess that you have so many homeless veterans walking around and nothing, don't have nowhere to live, don't have it is sickening what is happening, you know. And to our brothers and sisters, the things and that is happening, and that we can just come down on each other, and we treat our brothers and our sisters, our wife and husband so bad. We don't do the right thing, we don't make the right choice about
home
what
first.
we're doing.
Right.
And
home
you know,
first.
is nothing going on, because that's why so many sisters and brothers are divorced, not together, and it's bitter. A lot of it is so bitter, because when I was growing up, I see people together forever until they die. And
that's not the norm now.
Everything just changes. Like, everyone used to sit down and have dinner. Whether if it's outside you sit, it doesn't matter, on the floor, wherever it may be, you sit and you have dinner together, and you laugh and talk, rolling on the ground, because the jokes that were so sweet, you know. But now it's not there. It's not there, and the children are in a lot of trouble. Our children are in a lot of trouble.
Emotional
because
stuff.
First of all, the children, they come home sometimes, no parents home, nobody. It's sad. It's just a sad situation what's happening. Sometimes dad and mom home today, tomorrow dad walk out and gone, and it's just a mess. Everything is just a mess, and you know, we have to try. We as a people, we as melanated people, our black people, whatever you want to call yourself, brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter to me. You see what I'm saying? But if we don't try to fix the problem, if we don't try to get up and fix this problem, it's only going to get worse. And it is something, because me and a sister was talking, and you know, we were saying, you know, so many of our brothers, so many of our sisters are stepping out of their race and marrying other people. And I was telling her, even in Ghana here, or on the continent, wherever country here, so many of these white men are married into these sisters. You see what I'm saying? It is sad that I don't know. It's a big mess
there's so many different
going on.
Dynamics that are a spin-off from the breakdown of the family.
And if you think that, okay, if you think you can leave the state, leave the United States or Canada, and say, oh, I'm coming to the continent and I'm going to find a husband over there. What's the difference with I don't understand. For me, I come here and I see, what's the difference with your brother in the state and the brother here? Why you have to leave the United States to come to Africa to find a husband or a boyfriend?
I'm gonna be lewd and say
I know
same black dick.
I know some people gonna.
But I'll tell you about that though.
Some people will get mad and whatever and stuff like that. But you know, it is sad. It is sad that it have to be like that, and you know, we really need to clean up ourselves. We need to fix things, because this is not working for us. This is not working for our family. So we need to sit down and fix the things that is broken. You know, it can be fixed. Put it back together, because it is sad what is happening to the family, our melanated family.
And see, that segues into a little bit of a more complicated issue, which, you know, we're going to keep this short, but I will touch on it a little bit. From what I see, you know, you have what they call passport brothers. And passport brothers are, in their words, to make it brief, sick and tired of the Western mentality with these modern women who say that they don't need you. You know, a man needs to be respected. A man needs to be honored only if he's worthy of it and shows this. But you have a lot of honorable men who do the right thing. They might make less money, but they bring it all home. They might look well, but they keep to themselves and bring the love on home to their wife. And a lot of these women, or their woman, the girlfriend who they hope to marry, and a lot of these men run into these women who have these toxic attitudes, and they're like, listen, I'm going to another country. A black woman is a black woman. I'm going to another country. I can't take these women ridiculing me because I don't make as much as them, or I'm not in the same position or in the corporate world, or whatever ideology, whatever rank and file they feel. And they feel they don't have to be submissive righteously. As a man, they both should be submissive to each other. Each one should come number one for each other. Not his boys around the corner who he watches football with. He puts them over her, or that whispering girlfriend of the woman who whispers and all in their relationship. They don't need to be there. Man and woman first. Children come, you build your home, and then you become part of that community. And these men are sick and tired of it. Now, you have women. I've known personally a lot of black women who they want to get away from the bad apples in our race as black men. The black men who just, they are there, but it's not as much as the press and the media that's controlled by the enemy push. Because, you know, when you look at these Instagram reels and TikTok reels, stuff on Facebook, stuff on YouTube, it kind of pushes a narrative. It's easy to get those things out that make us look bad. But there are a lot of mechanics, a lot of store managers, a lot of doctors, a lot of guys who have their own business that is paying their bills and doing well, more so than the narrative that they push. And there are a lot of good men out here who want to get married, who want to share in finances and give everything to these women. So a lot of people are just so delusional, but you have many black women, not all, but in my investigations and dealing here, I'm not going to put anybody's business out, but these modern type women want these guys who are here. And this is not a put down to my Ghanaian brothers, but so many of them want a taste of the Western Panani, and they will go crazy for it because in their mind, lots of times, you're going to save me. You're my queen. You're my savior. Right. And they're not going to treat their own women this way. I've seen some, and I have to tell it like it is. This is not all, but there are many Ghanaian men who are here who prefer an American woman who listen, baby, I will kiss your feet. I'll drink your bath water. I'm not saying they said that. They said things that I've heard with my own ears comparable to that. And they're easily controlled by that American woman who may come here with a little more money from working a job, retiring, or even not retired yet, but a go-getter in the American way. And they come here and it's like, okay, I got to get that one because she's going to take care of me. Not all Ghanaian men are like that, but a lot of young men are almost like gigolos here. And they just want you because they want to get taken care of and you finance everything. I probably am the first one to say that. And there's going to be a lot of people who have their own thought and are mad at me. And it's not always that way, sisters. I'm not saying that. There are a lot of good Ghanaian men out here, right? But you better understand the mentality that they may have and how they view you. The same way for the black men to say, I'm just going to go and get a woman from Brazil or come to Ghana, Nigeria, and get one of those women who don't have the American mentality. It's all about that mentality of a leech, where a lot of these men want the woman, or there's different ideologies and culture. So you can get a warm body to be in the bed with you almost like this as a black man from the West. But is it just that they're looking at it as a trade-off where you take care of me and you can have me? Who wants that? You want somebody to want you. There are cultural differences that you better make sure, and this is on both sides, that you're on the same page. And oftentimes it comes down to finances, and that's not too healthy. You may get the illusion of what you want, this subservient man who wants to drink your bathwater and kiss your feet. But then what happens when he sees the next American woman? He might want to kiss her feet and drink her bathwater too. You see what I mean? So I've known a lot of horror stories that come from thinking that going somewhere else, it's going to be better. And sometimes, and oftentimes, I've seen it work out. Men, I will say, and this is me personally, men don't want somebody complicated. That if you have gone through trauma, we will help you and work along together. But you have to want to face it. As a man, you want to be honored and respected and not disrespected in public in subtle ways, because the disrespect goes a lot further than, especially in public, than if it happened behind closed doors. You got to understand, women want to be loved. Men want respect. You go against his manhood, he's not going to like you. And this is why a lot of men will go out and find a woman who may not look as good as the original woman. But if she respects him, I don't mean kiss his ass, but shows him respect and know how to deal with him to keep the ego and to keep, and not the bad ego, but the good ego, the manhood. You back up your man. It's you give him the benefit of the doubt. That works a long way. And a lot of the modern day women who have this feminist mentality, they're not doing that. They always quick to put somebody else on the outside over you, say certain things, put your business out there. They honor their girlfriends more than they honor you. No, that's a recipe for disaster. Again, it's about building the family and community. And we'll take this from different angles. We just talked about this right now. If there's any part of this conversation you want us to go down that road, we'll go down further. I threw a few things out there that may sound controversial, but I'm willing to back it up because of my experiences. And so, Mrs. SCURV, I'll give you the last word, or if you want to continue on.
Yeah, we just want to, really and truly, want our brothers and sisters to just show love and respect to each other. Once we show love and respect and we do the right thing, we can, what they say, agree to disagree.
Oh, yeah, when it comes to ideologies, that's growth. That's how growth comes.
So that's the thing for us. We just want all of us to just love and respect each other and just do what we need to do. And, life would be much easier. We can, if we have to separate, we separate and just do the right thing without, as I say, without hating and any craziness going on. We can do the right thing. We see each other, we laugh and we talk same way. No hate, no nothing like that. We just move on and do what we need to do. So, we just send, love out there to you, brothers and sisters, and just to show you that, we can do it. There's nothing that we can't do, whether we're doing it on our own or we're doing it together. Just let's do it in love and just do the right thing. So we just send love to you all, and, much love.
Love and respect.
Yes, take care of yourself, and we'll come back, and, some people will disagree. It's okay to disagree, but, we'll be all right. And then if you want to hear more, or what,
point us in the direction you want us to go.
Just go to the comment section and say your piece, and that's how you got to do it. And just let's move on and do the right thing.
Understand that in the comment section you're going to hear people who heard the part that they wanted to hear.
Yeah, but it's
all right.
The rest.
It's okay. I know.
It don't matter.
But you have to say some things out there that kind of poke and prod and touch some nerves and whatever.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
But you have to be relentless in this. You have to understand the forces involved that attack your children and attack your mind against the one you're with or a prospective person that you're going to be with. It's a lot of meditation that needs to be done, a lot of cleansing. We've all been through situations, so we have to deal with our trauma before we're able to deal with anyone. So if we are walking around, male and female, perpetually angry for whatever reason, we have to clean those rose-colored glasses. We have to clean the mud off of them, because life is tough. And the last thing is, if there's anybody bringing toxic energy into your life, you have the right to live the way that you need to live. We just can't give you a pass because you're black or because you talk a few good things. See, because there are people, male and female, who see the potential of a couple together and the success that they can attain, and they don't want to see that. And they might be your closest friend with a smile on their face, but that's a whole other topic. Anyway, Mrs. SCURV, it's been nice. I said we'll talk for 15 minutes, but of course I tricked you again to go on a little longer. But I think this is a good conversation that we had, and I'd like to hear the feedback on it. And don't be afraid. I don't get angry when I hear responses that are diametrically opposed to mine. Dialogue and true communication is very healthy. Not one-sided, but true communication where you understand before you move forward where the next person stands. When you refuse to hear that, then trust me, you won't see them too much. Anyway, Mrs. SCURV.
Yes, enough love, and take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you